Am I good enough?
Today my makeup looks great.
I ain't got time to be dealing with these crazy people at work.
Should I really buy this?
Why do I constantly have to explain myself to my coworkers?
Should I go back to school?
How many showers a day is too many showers?
Damn, this money spent faster than I get it. I thought college and all this education was supposed to make it easier to keep money.
Why don't white people use face towels?
When was the last time I ate?
Damn, I gotta stop overthinking.
I have endured pain and loss. I felt broken. I have known hardship. I have felt lost and alone. But here I stand trying to move forward. One day at a time, I will remember lessons in my life because they are making me who I am, stronger, a warrior. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to the very first episode of I Got Something to Say with Tara J, where I will be talking about mental health awareness from my own life experiences. I will be helping those who are struggling or just living with mental stress. I also will be informing those on what mental health issues are. Maybe you aren't sure if you have the disorder, or maybe you're dating someone with a disorder and not sure how to help or love them. I get it. One day they're up, one day they're down. One day they hate you, one day they love you. This can even happen on days when you did nothing at all. It just be like that sometimes. But what you must understand, the number one thing to living with a mental health disorder is simply understanding what it is. No, I'm not here to diagnose you or have you listening to my story thinking, oh shit, my life is so much like hers. An attempt to diagnose yourself? No, that's definitely not what I want you to do. I really just want you to listen, think, and attempt to move differently towards the path of bettering your life for you and only you. So yeah, my name is Tyra J. That's I am Tyra J across all social media sites. I'm a 26-year-old African American woman still learning and improving herself. I'm born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. You know what they say. You're really not really living unless you survive Chicago. Then again, do they really say that? I don't know. I might be making that up. I don't know. Who knows? No, I'm not a specialist. I didn't study psychology or anything like that. I don't really know how the brain works. Just my brain only. But ever since I've been diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and bipolar 1 disorder at the age of 16 years old, I instantly thought I was crazy only because my young ignorant mind wasn't aware of what those things are. Since then, I sure have been studying and reading my ass off on what this means and how to live life amongst others with it. These 10 years have been heartbreaking, rough, uplifting. I felt powerless, close to giving up. I even felt like I just did not want to feel anymore, period. After a while, I had to learn how to let go of my limits and live life joyfully. We all know that life is so hard. This road to inner peace has been a long one, and I'm still haven't reached the end. But here I am, sharing with you my journey to conquer one mental illness at a time, with my head up, standing 10 toes down, ready for whatever the universe has for me. You know what they say, you give good, receive good. Because that girl karma is a huge B. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, bipolar 1 disorder is defined by manic episodes that last at least 7 days or by manic symptoms that are so severe that the person needs immediate hospital care. Usually, depressive episodes occur as well, typically lasting at least 2 weeks. Episode of depression with mixed features having depression and manic symptoms at the same time are also possible. Anxiety has two parts: occasional anxiety and generalized anxiety. Occasional anxiety is a normal part of life. You might worry about things such like health, money, and family problems, but people with generalized anxiety disorder feel extremely worried or feel nervous about these and other things. even when there is little or no reason to worry about them. People with generalized anxiety disorder find it difficult to control their anxiety and stay focused on daily tasks. The good news about these things, they are treatable. The National Institute of Mental Health lists depression as a major depressive disorder or clinical depression. Both are common and very serious mood disorder. It causes severe symptoms that affect how you feel, think, and handle daily activities, such as sleeping, eating, and working. To be diagnosed with depression, the symptoms must present at least 2 weeks. Some forms of depression are slightly different, or they may develop under unique circumstances, such as persistent depressive disorder, postpartum disorder, psychotic depression, seasonal affective disorder, and bipolar disorder, which here in my case, that is the one that I was diagnosed with. No, I'm not telling you this so you can panic. A manic episode can simply be you had a bad dream, so your entire morning is ruined until that one thing distracts you. Then you instantly just can't even remember a second of that bad dream. Or another example is you experience racing thoughts. Some people believe racing thoughts are simply you being in a creative mood or brainstorming different ideas for work. But no, typically someone who is experiencing a manic episode of racing thoughts will often involve snippets of music, previous conversations, lines of movies, voices that won't be quiet, even playbacks of different scenarios of what didn't happen, what could have happened, what should have happened, or what happened already. The thoughts are completely out of control, and you struggle with concentrating on the task at hand. The mood usually isn't severe enough to require hospitalization, but it can cause problems with working and socializing with others, even simply staying on task. I do recommend doing less drugs besides what's prescribed to you because different things like popping a molly, ecstasy, cocaine, even smoking weed can trigger your mania, especially anxiety. I remember those times when I was smoking weed and my anxiety instantly kicked in. My heart was racing. I heard voices talking to me. I heard voices talking about me. It was like I was falling into a sunken place and I couldn't get out. It's been years since that continuously happened. However, I do remember that one experience last year that I just felt like, what the F? But then again, it could have been a part of my insecurities as well. Unfortunately, insecurities and self-doubt are also parts of bipolar disorder. And that's okay. Remember, it's okay to not be okay. And for a while, I struggled with accepting the fact that I am not okay. I was feeling like, okay, I had to be okay at all times. I couldn't really show too much emotion because, hell, it didn't really feel like my life was getting better anyway. And after a while, people would tell me, oh, you'll get over it. Oh, it'll pass. And that is one thing that someone who is not diagnosed or doesn't have these issues should tell the next person that has these issues or is diagnosed. Those same people that are telling you you'll get over it or it'll pass are probably still living with their past traumas and still have life resentment on what could have changed or what they could have done differently at your age. So don't let those people that just don't know what to do guide you down a path of bullshit, pretty much. Because as you can see, you never get over it. It never passes. You live with these same memories forever. And guess what? 10 years later, all of that stuff comes rushing back to you and now you're thinking you're crazy. You are in denial. Seek help. You are in denial. Seek help. Learning at the age of 16 what those things are, my life instantly changed. I always looked over my shoulder, wondering if people would notice. Will I have a manic situation here? Will my mood instantly changed? I just was not sure. Now my mind is racing with a billion thoughts. Am I enough?
Do my feelings matter?
Am I crazy?
What would he or she think if they found out? How would they react? So let's sit here and think for a second. Flow throughout our stages of life, in your life, my life, whoever's listening. Grade school, high school, college, adult life. So the ages vary from about newborn to 13 years old, 14 to 17 years old, 18 to 22 years old, and 22 plus. On the scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate those years of your life? 1 being suicidal, 10 being content and peaceful. So I'll go first. Grade school to me was, I would give it about maybe like a 5, because I was going through a lot at that time, from losing my mother, domestic violence, sexual abuse, all of the above. It was just like, what the hell is going on in my life at this time? So not even a 5. I may even give it a 4, because I wasn't suicidal as much. I've had experiences, yeah, but I also had happy moments too. Like when I found out who all my cousins were, all the playtime we had. I was very smart in school, so I always was rewarded for that. But overall, I can't give it a 10, but I can't give it a 1 either. So I'm around the 4, 5-ish range. So how about high school? I'm now 14 to 17 years old. I would say I'm still keeping it about 4, 5-ish. Why? Because I transferred schools. My living arrangement changed a few times. Friendships was falling apart. Boys were taking advantage of me. I thought I even met the love of my life at this time. But then everything crumbles, right? Supposedly, forever doesn't exist. Do you believe in forever? Not saying that you have to finish college at 22. Just saying from 18 to 22. Where would I rate my life at that time? 1 is suicidal. 10 is content and peaceful. I would probably say those years there was top 5 the worst years of my life. Not saying that I've had worse years, just those years were just pretty bad for me. So I would rate that at about a 2.5, maybe 3-ish. I was homeless. I was going from household to household. I was going from state to state. I was going from school to school. I was living in the closet. It was just all bad. I think at this time my family disowned me, but I still was going through my phases of life. My bipolar would kick in whenever it wanted to. One day I'm angry, one day I'm not. One day I'm happy, one day I'm not. Life was rough around this time. So now let's think about our adult life, the present, from 22 to now. So I'm looking back at the last 4 years of my life, and I would say it has made a drastic change From what the fuck to okay, maybe there's more. So I wouldn't give it a 10, but I definitely wouldn't give it a 4. I would say I am currently at about 7, mostly because 2015 was probably one of the best years of my life, and that was 4 years ago. So the start of my so-called adult life was great. I was able to begin to figure myself out. I was learning in that time what self-love was really about. I was meeting so many people, absorbing all of these different kind of energies. Just, it was much better than what I would have expected. So, as you can see, I gave my adult life currently a 7 because I've had suicidal thoughts. I've had thoughts where I just did not want to feel anymore. I've had those dark moments where I just wanted everybody to go to hell. But then I have those uplifting moments where I was just at peace. I was conquering my soul. I was loving the world. I was giving out all of this good energy that the universe gave back to me. I mean, my life isn't the best right now, but by me first learning myself, then accepting my flaws, I'm able to think of nothing less than positivity. Growing up, my aunt always had this prayer on our wall in the bathroom. It read, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That was big for me, even at the age of maybe, 8 years old, because I was really struggling on the inside trying to figure out who I really am or who I want to become. Actually, that prayer still holds weight in my life now because it helps me identify the things I should or should not give my energy to. Changing and accepting are 2 big things needed in life to conquer peace within you. You must be willing to change your mindset and your heart often. You also have to be able to accept your own faults and flaws as well. This helps you get through depression. Depression is more than just sadness, but a lot of people don't know that. It can be a case of excessive anger as well. Even though anger is a universal emotion found across all cultures and nationalities, excessive uncontrolled anger that's triggered by trivial issues can often be considered harmful to yourself and others. It ties into maybe cutting your wrists or even lashing out at someone from something that pissed you off 2 days ago. Here's an example. A 19-year-old man, as smart as he can be, passes all of his classes with straight A's, high school valedictorian, in college on a full engineering scholarship. He has no significant past history of any medical illness. Then instantly was presented with extravagant complaints of a depressive mood. His appetite instantly changed. He seemed to be sleeping all the time. Excessive irritability, frequent anger outbursts. How did his personality just change, you ask? Well, I never once said anything about his personality. I just said he was a really smart kid that had straight A's. He was a bright kid that was never asked, "How are you feeling today?" He was a bright kid that witnessed a few bad things happening to him and or other people around him, but he never spoke out about it. He was a bright kid that knew so much but never learned how to actually express how he was feeling. So when he was upset, he said nothing. When he was irritated, he said nothing. When he was angered, he said nothing. And guess what? Years passed. Until that one day, things changed. His intake began to overflow. And the outbursts became uncontrollable. They kind of got out of hand. So imagine that 19-year-old boy is you. Your child, your mate, your best friend, even your parent. They live their entire life not knowing how or where to channel their energy. Of course, you'll fall into depression. So let's start writing things down, guys. Get a journal. Get off social media expressing your sad days because no one really cares. Or use social media as an outlet to help others going through the same things you're going through or went through. Let's smile more. Let's talk about our feelings more. Did your husband disappoint you? Tell him. Make sure you tell him why. No arguing is needed. Did your cousin hurt your feelings? Tell her. Tell her why. No arguing is needed. Did you feel like your best friend betrayed you? Tell them. Tell them why. No arguing is needed. Just make sure whatever you decide to do it for your own sanity, not anyone else's, because you can't help someone if you're not helping yourself. Insanity is not the new sanity. Don't let anyone make you think differently. Love yourself. Become your own type of royalty. Help the youth discover themselves. Be a leader, but be willing to follow as well. Going from never having that sense of mental, spiritual, physical awareness to becoming 90% in tune with my own frequencies as well as the energies I keep around me, I still have my mind open to learning new things every day. Now that I'm able to come to you as the patient sitting in the waiting room, waiting to be seen, I'm able to share advice, experiences, and life-changing stories on how to overcome the things that you're mentally battling with, that you may not even know other people are battling with it too. So, check back again, guys, with episode 2 of I Got Something to Say with Tara J on mental illness and awareness. And always remember, a mental illness disorder defines how you sometimes act, not who you are. Okay? Big kisses. I'm out, guys. Peace.